One thing that differentiates psychology from other disciplines is its heavy focus and emphasis on conducting research. There are two basic types of research that we do in psychology. One is basic research and the other is applied. So basic research is research that's done for learning about knowledge for its own sake, identifying factors that increase or decrease behaviors, take place in a laboratory setting. Um, and applied research is using the principles discovered through basic research to solve specific practical problems. So one example is learned helplessness, and I've provided the YouTube video link below. Wonder if anybody's ever heard of learned helplessness. Well, the basic research component of that, Seligman back in 1967 did research with dogs. He shocked the dogs, highly unethical now. He shocked the dogs, and when dogs were able to escape shock, then they did. And when dogs were not able to escape the shock, they learned to give up. And then in a subsequent experiment, when the dogs were shocked again, the first group that had previously been able to escape did, but the other group who was not able to escape before would just lay there, even though they were perfectly able to go at the time. So anyways, there's a video there. Take a minute and take a look at that. What's neat about this video is at the end it shows you how learned helplessness generalizes to humans and instances of where you may have elements of learned helplessness in your habits or behaviors in your day-to-day lives. Because human behavior is so complex, we tend to examine it at three different levels. Biological level, which is brain processes and genetic influences, which you would do in a laboratory. Psychological level, which is about your thoughts and feelings and motives and such. And then lastly, at the environmental level, it's like a macro level, right? So past and current physical and social environments to which we are exposed. So an example of this in the text is about eating. So for example, at the biological level, you would look at what brain processes or genetic influences, chemicals, neural circuits, what's involved in the feeling or sensation of being hungry. What sort of triggers your brain to get you to go get food. At the psychological level, there's thoughts, feelings, and motives, right? So when you're in certain types of mood, and have food preferences, that sort of thing, that was all done at the psychological level. And then lastly, the environmental level, which is, the aroma of food. Certain things might trigger things in the environment that would trigger you to maybe feel hungry or want to eat something. So the levels of analysis really brings to the forefront the nature versus nurture debate. But what has influence? Are we born a certain way with certain preferences and behaviors, or is that from the environment and from what we learn? And throughout time, it's gone from one side to the other. It's biologically based, and then some new evidence comes out that shows that the environment may have a stronger impact on your behavior and learning than nature. Currently, we sort of go right in the middle, saying that both nature and nurture have a strong impact. I wonder if anyone's heard of ACEs before, adverse childhood experiences. This is sort of evidence of how nurture, the environment, learning, how it can have a traumatic impact on the development of brain and neurological systems in children, right? So it's the impact of the environment on the development of children's biological systems. So what the research found is that there are actually 10 unique events that, if they happen in childhood, they can have lifelong changes and lifelong impact with children. There's physical neglect, physical abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, witnessing violence against a parent, parental divorce or separation, a household member with a substance abuse disorder, a household member with depression or mental illness, a household member in jail or prison, or emotional neglect. So you can Google this. If you have a score, or if someone has a score of higher than 5 out of 10 of these, and you can find the questions online, then that person is more likely to suffer long-term consequences, both physical and to do with mental health. Okay, so that is chapter 1, the first section, Nature of Psychology, and we'll be moving on to perspectives on behavior next.